there, YouTube. I'm back again today for another game review. And today I'm very excited to check out Jenga Tetris from Hasbro Gaming. This is for 1+ players, ages 8+. It'll take you about, 10, 15 minutes to play. And in Jenga Tetris, this is the same game of Jenga that you either know, you might love, you might hate it. It's the old school game of Jenga where you're going to be taking pieces out and then putting them on the top. But this one's different because the pieces will be shaped like various different Tetris pieces. Does that make the game different? Does it make it better? Does it make it worse? Let's open it up. I'll tell you what I think. Before we do that, though, I want to give a big shout out to Kyle, who helped support our Kickstarter, helped send us to Germany and to Indianapolis, and he wanted to say, hey, Fredis, I told you we'd make it. Love, Smokey. So big thank you to Kyle, but let's open up some Jenga Tetris. Alrighty then, we're going to take a look at what's going to get inside of Jenga Tetris. So before we get started, I do want to mention I do not have a copy of the rulebook in front of me. The thrift copy I got did not have it, but I was able to find it online very simply. Just typed in Jenga Tetris, found the rule booklet, a PDF. Very well done rule booklet, should have you up and running in no time at all. Also, I can teach you how to play the game right now because it's incredibly simple. So in Jenga Tetris, this is your typical game of Tetris where you are going to be taking a piece out from here and then putting it onto the top without trying to knock over the structure. The only difference is that the pieces are very, very different from your typical Jenga pieces. They are, in fact, pieces from a game of Tetris that will look something like this. Now, you will have some of the regular Jenga pieces as well, but there's a lot of other odd pieces thrown in there. So I'll show you how the game has worked and you'll very quickly understand. So on your turn, what you're going to do is you're going to look for a piece that will come out quite easily, like that one right there. Then you're going to put it back on the top. Now, the only additional rule in Jenga Tetris is that if you ever make it so that the top is like a perfect 9-block grid. So right now, this is not a 9-block grid because we don't have a piece here, and we don't have a piece there due to the odd shapes. Then you get to decide who takes the next turn, which does add one different dimension to the game. But other than that, it is your pretty standard Jenga. So let's just see how long I can do this real quick. We'll do it real fast. So that piece is not going to come out. Oh! So I'm not very good at the game. But as you can see, if this would have been a regular piece instead of this piece right here, I would have won the game. So it adds like a whole different dimension where you actually want to look to see what kind of piece you're pulling. But that, in a nutshell, is what you're going to do inside of Jenga Tetris. Alrighty then, Jenga Tetris from Hasbro Gaming. What are my final thoughts? Let's go over the pros, let's go over the cons. First, on the con side, this is still a dexterity game a la Jenga. If you do not like Jenga, I do not think this game will do enough to change your mind about the base formula. I mean, some people just do not like Jenga. And if you don't like Jenga for whatever reason, maybe you got shaky hands, maybe you just don't like the stress, then this one's not going to be for you. Also, this is not a wooden game. A lot of people like the old school wooden pieces, and I did have a couple people say, hey, I think I'd like this a little bit better if it was the similar, familiar wooden pieces instead of these plastic pieces. I didn't really mind it. I felt like it fit with the theme somehow. I'm not really sure why I felt like that, but I did feel like that. But still, some people are not going to like the fact that it's plastic as opposed to wood. Any other cons I have of the game? You know, it is one of those games where one person's going to lose, everybody else is going to win unless you do a elimination tournament, which is normally what we do in my classroom. But yeah, some people are not going to like those types of games where 6 people can win and 1 person loses. And, the obvious cleanup. I mean, this is one of those games where you have to set it up each and every time it falls down, and it can fall down relatively quick, especially if you're playing with younger kids. And that's another con that I have with this, the packaging. I understand the packaging is bright, it's appealing, but you just kind of put everything back into the box, whereas the original Jenga had really nice packaging because you could build it up the way it's supposed to be built up, and then you could slide the box on top of it, which means the next time you're ready to play, boom, it's already set up. So it's little things like that. I wish this still was your typical square box, or maybe even make it a little bit crazy and make it a square box with like a boot, but still something where you could put the game back into the box already assembled so you can set it up quicker next time. It's a minor little nitpick. It's not going to be that big of a deal, but it is something that I did want to mention. But moving on to the pros, Jenga Tetris really surprised me. I was expecting this to be crap. I really was expecting this to be Jenga with a different coat of paint. And it is to a certain extent. It is just Jenga with different shapes and the one added rule. But the different shapes really mess with the game. They really add a different dimension to the game and make you take pause on how you typically play Jenga. You saw in the middle part, I pulled out this piece, and normally this piece would be fine to pull out. But because it was actually an L shape, it had just enough on top of it that it didn't work. And it it makes you play the game a little bit differently, which I do like. And I think if you are a fan of Jenga, as I am, I've enjoyed Jenga from time to time in my life, I think you're going to enjoy this game. And I really do think you're going to like the different changes. I also like the fact that once you complete that top 9 square, you are going to be able to decide who goes next. So it adds a little bit of a take that element to the game, which I do like. In a quick, simple game like Jenga, I think that is a little bit fun, especially if a kid can get, get that 9th piece and be like, haha, Dad, you have to go again. And that's kind of fun. So in the end, Jenga Tetris, can I recommend it? Yes, I can. I like it better than the original Jenga. So if you are looking at this and you like Jenga, I'd say yes, pull the trigger. I think you're going to like this better than the original Jenga. I think the different shapes really do make a difference and make the game a better experience. I like the additional rule that they were able to add in with the different shapes. The only downside I'd say is the packaging and the fact that it's not wood. I think some people are not going to like the fact it's not wood. But in the end, Jenga Tetris, can recommend. Is it amazing? Is it a work of art? No, but I think it's better than the original Jenga, which I did enjoy as well. So there you go. If you enjoyed this review, please be sure to click on that subscribe button down below in the comments below. Let me know. Tetris, yay or nay? Is it your favorite puzzle game of all time? I think most people, Tetris is going to be a pretty easy yay. But is it your favorite puzzle game of all time? For me personally, that's a tough one. I really like Tetris, but I also really like Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine. I like Columns. As you can tell, I'm a Sega fanboy a little bit when I was younger. I really liked... There's a lot of ones. I really like the one on the cell phone with the bubbles, the bubble gum, where you got to work up the levels. So I'm going to go with no. I'm sure there is a game out there that I would rather play that has like power-ups and levels nowadays. But compared to stuff that was released in, say, the last 20 years before the last 10 years, I think I'm rambling here. No, Tetris is not my favorite puzzle game of all time, but it's definitely probably in the top 10. Let me know in the comments below. Is Tetris your favorite puzzle game of all time? And as always, thanks for your time, YouTube.